Good morning, students. In previous lecture, we have started with Unit 4. The concept is EJB, that is Enterprise Java Bean. It is an applications. EJB is an basically it is an application. So if we need to run these EJB applications, we require application server to be running. So application server we have already used for Servlet and JSP. We have used Glassfish server. So here there are different EJB container, like that is application servers are available, that is JBoss, Glassfish server, WebLogic or WebSphere. These are the EJB container, or you can call it as application server, which are required to run the EJB applications. So what it provides us, what is EJB provides us? So basically it performs life cycle management, then security, transaction management, object pooling. These are all the functions these EJB applications can perform. So this EJB is, its specification is provided by Sun Microsystem to develop secured, robust, scalable, distributed applications. So why do we need this EJB? So when we use EJB, our focus is to develop secured, robust and scalable distributed applications. And same way it provides us the security, transaction management, object pooling and lifecycle management also. And to run this EJB application, we require application server, that is EJB container. So there are various application servers are available: JBoss, Glassfish server, WebLogic and WebSphere. So when to use these EJB applications? When application requires remote access, जब भी remote access का ज़रूरत है वो टाइम पे we can use EJB. Then when application needs to be scalable, because for the large scale applications load balancing should be there, failure over, how to fail over a particular application, and clustering, when this type is needed, that time we can use EJB. And when that application needs encapsulated business logic, so business logic should be inside the application and it is being separated in EJB application. It is separated from presentation and persistence layer. That time we can use EJB, as there are the three types of EJB. One is session bean, second one is message driven bean and third one is entity bean. So each of us type has its own meaning and description. Session bean captures the logic, such as creating the user, add items to the particular applications. Then that means session is what? It is a connection between client and server that lasts for particular period of a time, that is short span, for a short span of a time, that is nothing but an session. So these session beans, though these EJB components are invoked by the client, and that client can be any of the Servlet page, JSP page, JSF, Java server faces also. So this for the session bean, enterprise bean is generated for each session from client and expires when client exists. जब भी client को connection create करना है वो टाइम पे, हर टाइम session bean is being created for each session, and जब भी client expire होगा, is exist होगा, so the session gets expired for each client exist. So depending on usage of a system by the user, there are the two types of session bin. One is stateless session bin and another is stateful session bin. In stateless session bin, the state is being maintained by the user, is not maintained by the user in stateless session bin, but in stateful session bin multiple requests are being handled and its data it's being kept tracked in the stateful session bin. Then is message driven bin. It contains only business logic, but it is invoked by passing a message. How the message driven being invoked? It is invoked by passing a message. Then is entity bean. How this entity bean is being? It is related to the. It does activities which are related to database. That means its state can be persisted in database only. Now it is being decrypted. It is replaced with the JPA, that is Java Persistence API. Previously it was used as an entity bean. Now it is replaced with the JPA, that is Java Persistence API. So why do we use? What are the advantages of using this EJB? So we have seen this to access EJB, free security. EJB provides us a free security. That's why we can use this EJB. Declarative transactions are provided. Then these EJBs are catched and pulled easily from the container of the EJB lifecycle. Then when we require application remote access, then we can use EJB. Then it also supports inheritance concept of OOPS. Then main part of EJB is annotation. Make use of annotations. Use of annotations based program is possible in EJB, which is not available in Servlet and JSP. This annotation part, use of attributes, is possible in EJB only. Then free usage and access of complex resources. जो भी इस complex resources है उसको यूसेज का उसका एक्सेस एंड उसका जो भी यूसेज है दैट इज़ फ्रीली अवेलेबल इन EJB. Only we require application server to be running. That is a disadvantage for this EJB. Then when we require large scale enterprise application to be developed, we can use EJB. Then main use of EJB container, here it is. It manages the life cycle of EJB instances. Like user or developer does not need to be worry about how the EJB objects are being created or deleted. It's responsibility of the EJB container to manage the life cycle of EJB instance, how the EJB instance is being created, when it is being deleted. That user developer not to worry about that. Everything is handled by EJB container only. So these are all the much advantages of EJB. From this we can decide to use EJB or not. Then disadvantages, yes, its structure is complicated and large specifications are required. Increased time of development, yes, because these are, if all these features needs to be implemented, then it takes time for development. Increase the time of development. Complexity is added as compared to the straight Java classes. Yes, complexities are added in comparison with normal Java classes. Lots of resources are used, have lots of artifacts. Yes, जितना भी resources यूज़ करेंगे उसका ही खुद का artifacts ज़्यादा होगा. Then it requires understanding of certain entrances, like a database, how to roll back a transaction in database, then delegates various values, session facets, lazy coding, dirty markers, that needs to be understood. Then it requires application server, yes, and main is it requires only Java client for writing the code, because for other language client we need to go for the web service. If we don't want to use web service, then we can use only Java client. because it's written in Java language only. For the other client, we have to see one more option called as web service. So these are we have seen this classification. Station bean, that is a stateless, stateful. One more type is singleton session bean. Entity bean, there are two types: BMP, that is a bean managed persistence, and CMP, that is container managed persistent. And message driven bean don't have further classification. So then in stateless session bean, the state is not being managed, but instead in stateful session bean, EJB container manages the state of a session. Then one session from client get invoked multiple EJB business methods. So each of the session state is being saved between the business methods. And in singleton name itself suggests a single state of a session is being shared among the multiple clients. That means in its instance being shared with all sessions which are created for the applications. This then we have seen message driven bean. It is integrated with JMS, that is Java Message Service. At Java, what is the use of JMS? JMS is to receive the messages from JMS destination. Unlike session bean and entity bean, message driven bean is being when it is directly invoked directly from the client. It cannot be directly invoked from the client. Its message driven bean work is to receive the messages and forward these messages to the application server for further processing. So for the message driven bean, interfaces used for implementation are in the version 2.0, which are different from the EJB version 2.1. इंटरफेसेस जो भी इम्प्लीमेंट होने वाला है उसका जो भी ये है इम्प्लीमेंटेशन नेम, इंटरफेसेस नेम है, दैट इज़ बीइंग डिफरेंट इन different version from 2.0. It is EJB message driven interface, and one more is javax.jms message listener interface. One is to write a interface and we need to implement its interface. So this is a diagram of message driven bean, where application client it's sending messages which are goes into the queue, and when the messages are being received, when the MDB instance is to receive the message, there is a message driven bean. Its work is to receive the messages and it send it to the container for further processing, and it encapsulates the business logic, does not maintain a state. This is a main feature of the message driven bean, because it's like a stateless session bean. It does not maintain a state, but it only contains business logic. So to create a EJB beans message driven bean, we need to import @message driven annotation and implement message listener interface. So in this example, @message driven annotation is being used and it implements the message listener. So we have seen this much part of EJB. What is EJB? What are the advantages, disadvantages for the EJB? Then what are the different types of EJB? Those are message driven bean, entity bean, and session bean. Session bean is being further divided into two parts: stateful session bean, stateless session bean, and one more is singleton session bean. So I hope everyone is clear till now. If you have any doubts, you can ask in live lecture. So thank you. Stay home, stay safe.